It also depends on our own Department of Water and Sanitation. And let me explain and unpack that a bit by explaining our value chain. So right at the tail end of, not the tail end, let's start at the top. At the top end of our value chain, we have the Department of Water and Sanitation, contain raw water, Lesotho phase 1 and phase 2, that is their responsibility. So they have got to do that on time so that we are able to have raw water. That's what we also have to pay for to about 18 municipalities, which is close to about, when we peak 5,000 million liters of water a day, through the network of about 3,500 kilometers. And the last part of the value chain is to pay for and use it exactly for that. Use it to operate, maintain, refurbish, and upgrade the reticulation infrastructure. What we are additional cars, other offices that have nothing to do with the current order. Thank you.
I was getting excited there for a moment that if the municipality is not passing on the money, then that means we must just sit with our money and not pay for the water. But you have a different approach to that problem. Now the screen is showing that time is up. I know that we come up to, it is first. Yeah, let's come up to the mic, please, very quickly.
Thank you so much. Honorable Minister, I think we're seeing, especially in the township, that is coming back to affect business, whether we like it or not, is the scourge of drugs in our communities. And my question is really, what are we doing about that pandemic? Thank you so much.
Okay, on this side. Madam Speaker, we can face this side also. Okay, thank you. Honorable. Okay. Can I continue?
Sure.
Yes. My name is Lusiso from all my efforts in the soccer team because most black people love soccer, right? But anyway, I just want to come to this part. The gentleman from Exaro was very specific to say that they're investing their time and efforts from a foundation phase to make sure that they source employees, right? Ability and the way of thinking in their position. So now when we come to our leadership as a country, we do unfortunately have people that are not qualified or fit for those positions. I'm not here to blame. But the question I do have for the minister is that, are you ever king of, let's say, president came from a rebellion? We definitely need to be intentional. So I just want to know, are these conversations that you are having with people of your level? Yes.
All right. The last question to the gentleman at the mic.
Good afternoon, all ladies and gentlemen, all the Minister. My name is Kagiso Matsitse. I'm an Executive Director from C-Track. Question to you is that what measures in place, and just to, on the trends that you mentioned, Minister, there's one last trend that I'd like to make a plea to you do, that you can take a picture and recording that and make it trend on social media before it's been recorded. Thank you so much.
All right, two of the questions. Minister.
Madam Speaker, South Africans love soccer and alcohol. Maybe, I think, Madam Speaker, it should not end up like this big gathering that is here. We are available to be invited to talk about themes on these matters. I would love to talk about alcohol as a theme. I know I became very much infamous when it comes to alcohol. I love alcohol, but I hate outcomes of alcohol. I don't drink it. I can afford it, but. The first question from the lady. Okay, let me start here. The government has produced the document that is called Integrated Approach to the Violent Crime Strategy to fight against the crime across the board. All government departments must be part of fighting crime. the area that she raises will be big on the social development and health, but also in human settlement. South Africa is targeted, is one of the targeted places when it comes to drug issues. For last year, we have dismantled 27 laboratories. What they do now, they don't send drugs, they create laboratories in the country. The biggest one, we found it in Limpopo, in one of the most beautiful animal lodge there. As you drive inside, you find a big laboratory there, not these animals you see. 27 of them have. We have arrested 339 of the people that are running those. Unfortunately, most of them will be foreign nationals. There is a specific country in Africa that usually they run that. I don't want to be xenophobic, but it's a specific nation somewhere in West Africa that comes here and they run big of those. When you raise it, their ambassadors, they go to the Minister of Deco to say, Minister any is xenophobic. I'm not xenophobic, it's because things I see. But besides those hard drugs, which some of them, they come from places like Port St. John's. Port St. John's is a beautiful beach. You find a beautiful yak there parking, and people swimming around. They don't necessarily swim around. Places like those, places like Neisner, we had a big bust there of a yak and these small ditch that they go and fetch the thing. But we have been having quite a big breakthroughs. 2 months or 3 months ago in Durban Harbour, we found a cargo of 1.6 billion pure cocaine coming here. That was on $500 million one in N1 from Gauteng to Cape Town. What is happening? The center will be Cape Town that runs drugs, but because of the weather, they'll create their firms in Johannesburg, and then they take the product back to Cape Town. And the most painful thing is a young African, young black youth child that is a market for it. If they can't have this hard because they're expensive, they create the resist Nyaupe. Advocate will help us here. Nyaupe has no element that is prohibited on it. Because if we arrest you with a drug, whether it's a cocaine, we must take it to laboratory. When we go to court, we must prove. But Nyaupe, you find all things that are needed, that are legal in the country. And then the judge will say, there was nothing foreign in the Nyaupe. Ama AIVs, Retex, and all those things that you find there. So but the most important thing to deal with drug issue will be employment. Create employment for the young people. One big department when it comes to the behavior of youth and drugs is arts and culture and sports. And those things are not in the townships. That's why they die in numbers in a place like Enyobeni, those 13-year-old kids who died in the shipping because there are no such. So it's ending on that one. The other big element of dealing with drug are families themselves. That's the biggest organization that can help us. Families, because you can see me when I'm beginning to run amok to say there is a problem. And parents and brothers and siblings, all of us, we must work on it to say drugs are the killers. And indeed, too many good people that have been killed by.
Minister, as I call the program director up to the stage, I'm gonna allow my panelists 30-second closing remarks and perhaps touching on that question on leadership development that was posed. And moving up.
Thank you. That's absolutely critical. I think as in the private sector, what we should not be doing in business is waiting to take people to leadership programs when they're approaching management stage. And what we need to be doing is not just investing in the skill set at the start. When people start their careers at the beginning, they're learning the skill, the actual trade. But we should also at that
All right, no, thanks a lot. I think it's fight this crime. It is homes. You pick up the roads where it is coming from. All what you can do if you are not happy, just put a stone. Don't burn it. That is